Right, well this recipe is for bread and butter pudding with a kind of slightly Indonesian twist. So, because I love satay, instead of using butter, I used peanut butter. And instead of using milk, I used coconut. So we look at all the ingredients now. Bread, obviously, peanut butter, apricot jam. Need to talk about sugars here. The first time I made this, Alex, I wasn't thinking about sugars and fats and things like that. I just wanted to make something that tasted a bit spicy and a bit different, but was a well-known recipe. But thinking about the diabetic angle, I've been looking at sugars. So rather than just putting in, I think I used honey the first time, just putting in honey as an extra source of sweetness. I'm looking at using fruit. So we try and keep the taste up, make it really nice and tasty and sweet, but slow release sugars so that it doesn't give you a big spike. So this is a bit of an experiment. So if it doesn't work, because I'll taste it when I've finished, I'll go back to the old recipe and then you'll just have to work out how big a portion you can use, okay? So come with me to the land of experimentation in food, okay? Raisins, eggs, various spices, come to those later, cardamoms, star anise, coconut, mango, and a selection of fruits. The important ones are the limes, the lemons and the oranges. The banana is an optional extra. So I think the first step is to rehydrate the mango with some hot water and also soak the star anise and the cardamom in with that fluid. And that will make the basis of our egg custard later on. We're going to bake the bread in, okay? With the cardamoms, you have a choice. You can put the whole thing in to soak, but if you get to the end of it there, and just peel with your thumb, it comes open, and it's actually the seeds that give the flavour. Those seeds there. And in some recipes, it actually calls for you to crush the seeds, which you can either do in a pestle and with a pestle and mortar, or if you haven't got a pestle and mortar, you can use 2 spoons, as I'll show you in a second. So I'm going to do some seeds that are going to stay in, and then I'm going to do some whole cardamoms that I'll pull out so that you don't have to crunch into them. You see, it peels quite easily. It's not any great effort. You can just use your thumb. And there's all the seeds we need. Two ordinary dessert spoons. Put the seeds in one. Put the other spoon on top, and then you can just crush, like squeezing one spoon onto the other. And that, if you can see that, it's not sort of totally flattened it, but it's opened it up so that it'll be flavoursome. So that is going to go into the bowl with the star anise I've already put there, 3 of them. And then we'll get a few more whole cardamoms. 1, 2, just 3 more, be enough. So 3 whole cardamom. Okay, so now we'll put the mango, so I bought this dried unsweetened mango, into the pod with the star anise and the cardamoms, and put in some hot water and leave that to soak. I think in practice you could probably soak that for half an hour or so. I'm going to leave it overnight, partly because the flavours will be stronger and partly because it's late and I want to go to bed. Okay, night. So, while the mango is soaking, I've soaked mine overnight actually, and it smells really good. Get yourself a bowl ready. I'm using a small one because this is for me alone basically. This would serve, depends how hungry they are, 3 people, perhaps 4, a crush if you had some ice cream or something to go with it. So, get some butter, like so, a little bit of paper from the butter. I'm just going to grease the dish so that things don't stick when we cook it in the oven. So what we're going to do after this is we're going to prepare some bread and make up layers. And then once the layers are prepared, we'll get our custard, for the want of a better word, that we're going to put on top. It's going to give it a lovely flavour. So that's that grease. Put that to one side. Get some bread. This is the fun bit, I think. On the bread, we're going to put the peanut butter that you saw earlier. I've used crunchy. I'm not sure. That might be something that's up for grabs, as whether crunchy or smooth is better. I kind of like the texture, so it suits me. But whether it would suit you, another question. Right, so once you've got 4 slices done, I need 4 slices for this dish, because I want to have 2 layers. I then go to the apricot conserve. This bon mammal, I know it's a bit more expensive, but actually it's less sugar per 100 grams, or less carbs per 100 grams, and cheaper jams, because there's more fruit in it, so you get more goodness for your buck. So, there we go. The first time I did this, I used marmalade, I think, because I'm going to use the orange juice later on. But I thought perhaps apricot would be a nicer taste. So, but don't feel, just because I'm saying apricot, you have to use apricot. Use whatever jam suits you. That's what I say. So we've got 2 slices up ready like that. I'm going to trim them quickly so that they'll fit nicely into the dish. So there goes one into the dish. There goes the second one into the dish. There's a tasty. A bit of a gap in between, so I'll make up a soldier and sort of plug the gap. Oh, I do like the taste of apricot. Perhaps that's why I chose apricot jam, because I like it. That might make sense, mightn't it? Okay, so we got one layer on like that. Now then, to add to that, take your handy zester. You see that? And we then start producing some zest, some zing, lime, or lime, or whatever you want to call it, really. See the way just little slivers of skin come off. Oh, by the way, I have washed these, because sometimes these things have wax layers on them, so it's best to wash them. So this again will give you a really nice flavour, and it kind of counteracts too much sweetness. So I'm not actually going to use lime juice in this. I think that would be too bitter. I'm going to use orange juice. So there we go. That's that. And then some orange zest as well. Orange is great, full of oils. So if you want to do a scientific experiment, hold a match near to an orange, a lit match, close to an orange, while you're doing this zesting, and you'll get the most amazing firework display. Obviously, only under the supervision of an adult, or if no one's looking. We don't want you being silly with fire, do we, boys and girls? But it is very impressive. Right, so we've got orange and lime there, which is nice. Now I'm going to get, this is the soaked mango slices. Actually, they've swollen up quite a lot. So I'm just going to put some of those on. You see, I'm keeping the fluid back because I want the fluid later on to make up this. I keep on referring to as a custard, but it's not really a custard. We know what we mean. I think that'll be fine. So now we've got that much mango in. Then sultanas, raisins. I'm using raisins in fact, but sultanas, raisins, something like that. A sprinkling of those. Before, I would then put some sugar on or some honey on, but I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to leave it to one side in that respect. You could put a little bit of ginger over or cinnamon if you wanted to, but the star anise and the cardamoms are so strong when they've been soaked, I don't think we'll need any other things. The other option also is slice some banana, but I think I'll save that for the second layer. Okay, so I've filled up the second layer, so it's almost up to the top now. And optionally you can put a banana in. I'm going to try it, so I've never done this before, and I think it'll be interesting. And if it's not, I'll be making a second one with all the optional bits left out. Right, just slice our banana up lengthways so that it'll go nicely on top of the bread and the mango and the sultanas and the zest, and oh, this is so good. There, like so. Okay. Right, so now we've got our dish full. We want to put some fluid in it to make it lovely. So I'm using the creamed coconut sachets, just one sachet. Voila, un sachet. Quick burst of scissorage, and hopefully it'll all come out in one go. Put that into a saucepan. Like that. And we're going to turn this into a kind of coconut milk by adding the juice from the soaking of, what's the word I'm looking for? The mango slices. And then we take the orange. And so then we get the juice from an orange. You can get fancy juices, but I'm not too worried about that. Right. So that's the juice of half an orange. I don't think we'll use the second half. So what I'm going to do now is put this on the heat and stir it gently until it all comes together a bit like a milk. So I'm going to start that off and I'll show you when it's going, okay? So now, I've been doing this for a few minutes. I don't know if you can see, but it's starting to melt and the fluid's going orangey white. So you keep that going. I won't bring it to the boil, actually, or just below the boil. So I'll be back to you in a couple of minutes. So I've got gardener's question time in the background, they're clapping, but this is just to show you how much I'm boiling it. It's quite a gentle simmer, really. And I've been doing that for some time because I don't want too much fluid, otherwise it'll spill over the edge. So, it's been going for a few minutes now, a few being probably about 10. And you can see it's sort of thickening up all by itself. But what we're going to do is we're going to add egg to it. But if you added egg straight to this, it would curdle. It would be awful. It would be a disaster. So I put it back into the dish, Pyrex dish, just to let it cool down for a while. And then we'll mix some eggs in afterwards. Okay, because I'm a bit paranoid about this stuff curdling, I'm going to take the eggs, that's an egg, you can tell, it's egg-shaped. And I'm going to break them into a measuring jug, like so. 2 eggs I'm going to use. I'm using chicken eggs, but dinosaur eggs work just as well if you can find them. There we go. Now I'm sure some of you have electromechanical devices to help you with it. I have a person-powered device to help me with that, and I can't find it at the moment. Okay, I can't find my hand whisk, so I shall have to show you my other option. Yes, I can, it's here. Hidden away. So, like so. This, how does that feel now? Always wash your hands when you do things like that. That's cooled down quite nicely. Nicely. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix the eggs in with the coconut and orange juice and mango juice mixture, which is already tasting quite nice. So this becomes what they call a kind of bechamel. And then pour that straight over the dish. If I've got it right, because this will rise a bit, that's part of what the egg does. So you don't want so much that's going to spill over the edge. That looks good to me. What do you guys think? You see, it's sort of filling up a bit, but not totally filled it up. You see that? Right, I'm now going to pop this in the oven for a carefully determined amount of time. When I say a carefully determined amount of time, I'm going to set it for 180, and I'm going to look from time to time, but it won't take that long. So this is what it's like when it came out of the oven. I'm not sure exactly how long I did it for. It wasn't any longer than 20 minutes, I think. But basically, I kept on opening the oven and having a look. And so when it gets to have that kind of crispy look about it, then it's done. And as you can see, a slice has been taken out. I gave it to a friend who said it was delicious. So I hope you enjoy it. Bye!